Hi there. Before half term, I told you a couple of stories about people who met Jesus after he died and rose again. We looked at Peter and we looked at Thomas. Today we're going to listen to about someone else. We're going to learn about someone else. And this guy was called Paul. Except at that time, he wasn't called Paul. He was called Saul. And later on, he changed his name. Now, Saul was someone who never met Jesus when Jesus was alive. He heard about him and he hated him. Yeah, he hated Jesus. He really thought he got it wrong. Jesus was a troublemaker. He had gone against everything he stood for. Saul followed the rules. Whatever the rules were, Saul followed them. And anyone who broke the rules, they got what they deserved. And he was like that angry policeman. And he was really, really angry. And so when one of Jesus' friends, Stephen, said, actually, Jesus is great and Jesus is alive and we need to follow Jesus, he got so angry. And when they said, actually, we want to kill Stephen because Stephen is just like Jesus and we killed Jesus on the cross and we're going to pick up some stones and we're going to throw stones at Stephen until he's dead. Paul, or Saul, at that time, he was the one who held the coats of those who threw the stones. So Saul was an angry enforcer, bad cop, and he wanted to get more of those wretched Christians. And he wanted to put them in prison. And he heard not only were Christians in Jerusalem, they were in Damascus in Syria, which was quite a way away. And he wanted to get them. So he went and he got permission. He got permission from the authorities. And he had his permission. And he had his permission to go and arrest the Christians, put them in prison and torture them until they changed their ways. Well, he was angry. And on his angry way, on his journey of anger over to Damascus, on that way, something strange happened to him. Suddenly there was an electric storm, a dramatic storm, and right in front of him came a man. He walked along. And he said, Saul, why are you hurting me? Saul looked at him and said, I've never hurt you. Who are you? I'm Jesus. Mouth wide open, shock. Oh, Jesus! Oh my goodness, you are hurting me. Oh my goodness. And then suddenly, black. In Damascus, there was a Christian called Ananias, and he was praying. And he was praying earnestly. And from somewhere he heard a voice. And the voice said, Ananias, I want you to do something for me. And I said, oh God, yes, anything. Yes, Holy Spirit. I will go and do whatever you want. And he said, there's someone called Saul, and he's come to Damascus. Oh, goodness. Ananias went, oh yes, we've heard about him. He's really angry. He just wants to put us in prison. And he hates us. And he's awful. God said, I want you to go to him and I want you to baptize him. Now Ananias went, do you know what, God? Not a good idea. He's really, really scary. You know, the scariest thing that I can ever think of He's scarier than that. Ask me, go and baptise a crocodile. I'd rather do that. But God said, no, off you go, Ananias, do what you're told. So, Ananias got out he'd been told where he was. He was in Judas Street, and he had to go and find him in the house of Judas. And he got out his sat-nav and went round and knocked on the door. No one there. He can go away. That'd be all right. Door opened. Guards around. Scary-looking people. I'm Ananias. Come to see if Paul is here, Saul is here. Oh, yeah, he's been expecting you. Okay. So they showed him up. And do you know how I said? Black. There was Saul sitting in a chair, not able to see a thing. Ananias, he kind of got his courage up. Okay. Got himself ready, went over, and he prayed with Saul. And he baptised him in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, just like some of you have been baptised in Cuddington Church or in Dinton Church or Stone Church or Hadnam Church, just like that. He baptised him. And then Paul's eyes became open. He could see. And he could see the world in a whole new way. He could see. And he could see what was good and what was bad, and what was love and what was hate. And suddenly he could see that world in a completely different way. Paul, he changed his name, and it was at that point he changed his name. Paul became the greatest ever Christian missionary. He told people about Jesus. And in the end, nasty people, like the one that he had been, had him killed. But his journey was absolutely amazing. And one day, I'll tell you a bit more about the journeys which Paul took. But think about this. He's a really nasty man, doing really nasty things. And suddenly, he sees that light. He changes the whole way he sees the world. You've been hearing stories about this week, perhaps, about things about how Black Lives Matter and how people have understood the world in one way. We can pray that they will see the world through God's eyes. The way the world is, it needs to change. Whether it's on our environment and how bad plastics are in our world today. Whether it be about the fact that Black Lives Matter. Anything that is God's way of seeing things, we need to be able to have our eyes opened, just like Paul did.